Hello, don't mind that guy. I got him for an anatomy workshop and I don't know where to put him. So he just sort of sits in the living room and creepily looks at us. Anyway, I don't have a name for him, so if you would like to name the skeleton, please send me some suggestions. So if you saw my video a couple days ago, my coach challenged me this week. By the way, she's amazing. My coach challenged me this week to talk about the value of my work, particularly the high-end value of my work. And I was taking a shower today and I thought, well, that's ridiculous on some level because it doesn't matter what I think. You know, as anybody who gets excited about something, who's deeply invested as an expert in their area, they value it a lot. Hey, Terry, we need to connect. I was just thinking about you. And, you know, we always value what we work on. So the way that I value my work really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think purpose and inner freedom is worth. It doesn't matter what I think spiritual freedom is worth. It doesn't matter what I think living in alignment with your purpose and happiness is worth. It matters what you think it's worth. And here's where we get into a little bit of a pickle because how do we put a value on things that are intangible? Right? So if this was all in a business context, we'd say, well, you couldn't get clarity and you can't move forward in your business without that clarity. And if you don't know how to align with your true calling and feel that sort of inherent confidence that comes from knowing this is your message, then you really don't have the confidence to take it forward. And you're always sort of punching the clock and never really being in a soul-filled, meaningful business. Like, we can put numbers to that, right? Because when you're aligned with your spiritual message, you want to shout about it all the time. And you easily do the work and you naturally have people radiate to you because you're not faking it. That's your work. So we can put numbers to that. But in a life context, how do we put numbers to the value of knowing your purpose, right? Like, the number one result my clients have is feeling incredibly happy in all of their life. Some of them actually quit their businesses. Some of them start a totally new business and go off. Some of them, that wasn't the point in the first place, right? They're in like 9-to-5 careers and are happy with that, but really needed to find inner joy and to feel like their life had some level of meaning, so their work wasn't just showing up and punching a clock. Like, so how do we talk about success on that level? And here's a couple of things we can say, well, what's it worth? What's it worth to you, right? And here's what it could be worth. It could be worth all of the healing sessions that you've been going through for the last couple of years, if not decades, right? Because you don't have to do them anymore. When you know who you are and you know what your soul's joy comes from and you know where to find that space of alignment, meaning you know exactly what actions and activities feed your soul and what area you're meant to be working on and looking at, you're not broken anymore, right? You don't have to keep like going to healers and hoping that they'll find what's wrong with you. You know, that doesn't mean you don't stumble. Like, I had a really bad morning this morning, as my coach can attest to, but I still know that it's within the framework of my purpose, right? And so I don't need to go seeking out like special healers to help me because there's nothing mysterious. I know who I am and I know the root of that. So that could be worth something to you. The not seeking, the not feeling like you're broken, the thousands and thousands of dollars you've probably spent on health, wealth, help, you know, like maybe you've taken courses to try to feel better, or you've gone to acupuncturists or massage people or energy alignments and, you know, all those things. Like, we've done them all. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars realigning and doing energy work. And I think it's valuable. I'm not trying to undercut that. But when you know how to find it in yourself, you don't have to get it externally, right? You don't have to have somebody help you do it. You can just find it. Then you get to invest all of those things because they're going to make you more expressive and more yourself in the world. They're going to release you to be even more of you, not trying to find you, right? So everything we do up into the point of knowing our purpose is kind of wasted money. Like, it just is, because it's looking to somebody else to help you. But once you know who you are, then invest all you want because it's going to enhance you. So what's that worth to you, right? What's it worth to save all of those costs? What's it worth to save the years of feeling frustrated? You know, or feeling like, oh, well, I thought this was the year I was going to do something, but it wasn't. And that disappointment that we layer on disappointment, on disappointment, on disappointment, right? That we keep layering on year after year because the years don't get any slower, right? Like, and we keep layering it on. And when are you going to do it? You know, like, what's that worth to you? What's it worth to you to not get through another year and be disappointed that one more time you didn't do it? Or the thoughts that accompany that. Why didn't I? Is it because I'm not meant to? Is it because I'm not good enough? Is it because, you know, it's just never going to happen for me? Other people would have done it. Like all that comparison stuff that we beat ourselves up with. Like, what's it worth it to you to not have that in your head anymore? You know, these are the intangible things, like, that have cost, because those feelings drain you, they strain you, they bum you out, they make you depressed, they make you want to check out of your life, they make you keep busy, because who wants to deal with that? So you fill your life up with all sorts of stuff, shopping, food, people, drama, right? So what's it worth it to you to not have that? Because when you're focused, you'd be clear, you know what to do, you know how to do it, you know how to navigate your own feelings of hesitation, because we all resist things. Like, don't get me wrong, you don't just wake up and miraculously, like, achieve all of our life's dreams. Like, we still have to get through some hurdles because we've got bad habits in place. But, like, what's it worth to not beat yourself up, to not overeat, to not overspend, to not pick fights with people because you're actually just disappointed in yourself? What's it worth? A lot, probably. It's a total change of life, right? What are you going to do with all that energy? When you free up all the energy that we use to convince ourselves to not do something, what are you going to do with that? Like, then you have so much energy to create. You have so much energy to give to other people. You have so much energy to give to yourself, and life becomes easy. That's another thing. Intangible, but number one thing my clients get, happiness. Number two thing they get, things are so much easier. Because life makes sense. It all fits together. They know what to focus on. They know what not to focus on. And you drop a bunch of junk. You drop a bunch of junk, particularly a lot of the drama. And last night, a client had, you know, a massive breakthrough. Now, I'll be fair, it took 1.5 years to get there. But massive, massive breakthrough where, you know, she's somebody who's so much like all of us, right? Like, let's just be an example as if it was you, as if it were you. Like, spinning in the head all the time. Like, my diet should be better, my exercise should be more, I should be doing affirmations, and I should be journaling, and I'm paying off debt, and I should be really improving my love life, and I want to do all this volunteer work, and I should be socializing more, and I have a side business, oh, and I'm pursuing this career over here and getting a promotion, right? What we're all doing, juggling a million things. And then on top of it, the self-perfecting. I've got to try to be better at this. I really should be doing this. Why don't I have a morning yoga practice? And I really should be meditating, and I should be calling my mom more, and I should be doing this, right? The self-perfecting. But what self-perfecting does is it actually traps us in this cycle of just wasting energy. It's like a drama cycle of wasting energy. And what happens is we stay down here because the trying keeps us in this cycle. And in this person's case, in this client's case, they're trying so not to rock the boat with people in their lives who they love, right? Because you might know that you're different than your best friends or your family that you came from or your siblings. Like, you might know that you inherently have something totally different to do in the world that challenges the way that your closest friends and family see the world, you know? And so to make them feel better, and so that you're not like breaking all the ties and being like, screw you, you know, to make them feel better and to not rock the boat in those relationships, we do this trying cycle, you know, and we just spin our wheels trying to get there, but continually sabotaging. Because if we just were there, what does that mean about people here? What does that mean about those relationships? Are we going to hurt feelings? You know, but this is what we're talking about. What's the value of freeing up all that energy? What's the value of not constantly being on the hamster wheel of self-perfection, or more importantly, self-punishment? Because you're always shooting yourself to death, right? Like, I should be this, I should be that. Why aren't I this? Why didn't I do that? What's the value? What's the value of dropping all of that shoulds and hamster wheel and just being where you're meant to be? And being who you're meant to be, more importantly. Who you're meant to be. It's so easy. It feels good. And that's why it frees up so much energy. So what's that worth to you? You know, put a dollar sign on it. What is it worth to you to feel clear. And let's specify it. Clear about what you're meant to do in the world. Clear about what you're meant to do tomorrow. Clear about when somebody says, hey, what's important to you? What do you want to do with your life? You have an answer. Hey, what's your biggest dream? Hey, how can I help you achieve something important to you? Hey, what would be the most amazing thing you could accomplish next year? What are those answers worth to you, right? What's knowing that you even have an answer? Hey, what's your purpose? Hey, what's your focus? Hey, what are you here to share with the world? Really, what do you embody and stand for in the world? What is it? Put a dollar sign to that answer. To be able to stand really strong and say, this is what I stand for. This is what I'm here to share and communicate. And more importantly, this is what I'm here to be. Because the more you be, the better everything is. And that's all there is to it. Like, all you have to do is be, but most of us are holding back from being because we don't know what we're supposed to be being. It's inherent to us, but somehow we can't see it. So what's that clarity worth to you? And what's it worth to you to know how to funnel that into your career, how to funnel that into your hobbies, how to teach that process, not the exact thing because it's your thing, but teach that process of knowing yourself and having the courage and confidence to stand in yourself, teaching that to your children. Like, what are these things worth to you? We know what it's not worth, right? Like, it's not worth any more heartache. It's not worth spinning your wheels anymore. It's not worth going to endless healers trying to find solutions. Again, I love healers, but let them enhance you, not try to fix you. They can't close the gap that's yours to close. That's what I do. I don't do it for you, but I help you through it. And then when we work with healers, they enhance you. And so we know it's not worth spending thousands and thousands of dollars continuing to go to healers. We know that it's not worth having horrible diseases because we're denying our truth, and so we make ourselves sick till we pay the attention, right? Pay attention. I went through this. Like, I decided I needed to leave the government, and you know what I did? I didn't leave, and you know what happened? A lot of bad stuff, right? A lot of bad stuff. I got attacked by a colleague. I went through a massive depression. I had to take a leave of absence. I would have blackouts at work where I didn't know where I was. Like, I wasn't paying attention. So what happens? Life gets louder. We've all had this. So it's not worth disease. It's not worth illness. It's not worth horrible incidents happening in your life. It's not worth losing relationships. It's not worth fighting. It's not worth losing sleep. It's not worth stress. It's not worth anxiety. It's not worth being depressed. It's not worth hating yourself. So we know what it's not worth, right? But what is the dollar on that? What are you going to do about it? And there's a long silence there because I'm not saying the doing is fast. Like, some people cling on to ideas, get their purpose, and we go. And for some of us, it's a slow roll. For me, it's like the slowest roll ever because this is my work, right? So it's like, oh my God, every day I have to like relearn the whole mountain all over again or reclimb the mountain all over again. So like, I get it. It's, there's a give and take. And it's not like, oh, I learned how to use this piece of software. Now I know how to use it. Like, it takes more learning than that, right? It's not one day we're like this and one day we're like that, because one day we have the knowledge, but we still have all the habits of when we didn't. So becoming you is a process. Living your purpose is a process. Knowing your purpose, simple. I'm going to do it in 20 minutes. Living your purpose, that takes commitment, right? It takes the unraveling of all the other things. And to me, that's worth a lot, because at the end of the day, when you unravel all of those other things, what's left? That you know how to find joy, you know what your central message and theme is, you know how to soothe your soul and what's important to you, you know what you stand for, you know what you value, you know what you bring to the world, you know how to communicate it, you know who to connect with to communicate it the most effectively, you know who not to bother with because they're never going to get it. So you know what things to let lie and what people to let go of and what relationships are no longer needed. You know how to forgive yourself because you have a context that helps you understand why things that hurt are actually for your help, right? We can absolve ourselves of sin, like not of sin, but of past mistake, like error, the original meaning of sin, right? Error. So all the things that you're holding over your head as things you did wrong, we can absolve ourselves of those. It's a very healing and cleansing process. So all of that is worth a lot because you end up at the end of the day feeling really good about yourself. confident, clear, secure. What's it worth? All right. Hey, Alan, you just joined, but I'm done, so I'm going to go. But I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to message me privately if it's too public. But I would love to hear, what are some of these things worth to you? And what have they cost you? What does not knowing cost you? What is not feeling free costing you? What type of painful relationships are you in? What type of unhappiness are you dealing with? What type of stress is going on in your life? And what is the cost of that? Really, emotionally, physically, mentally, on your relationships, on your health, on your budget. Like, what's the cost? And how much is not having to deal with all of that worth to you? All right, if you just joined, please go back and watch, because it was a good talk.